Before we begin, if anybody who has dialed in, if not, you can press *6 to mute yourself. But *6.
Call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge of the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sean, before I call the roll call, I'd like to introduce Matt Cole. He's the new board member appointed by Mayor Rustano. We welcome you, Matt, and looking forward to working with you.
Same here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Roll call.
Board Member Cole.
Here.
Board Member Dean.
Present.
Board Member Kimball.
Here.
Board Member Larkin.
Colleen, you got to unmute yourself.
Oh, it's not coming off nicely. Hi, present.
Chairman Sirianni.
Here. Presentations.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mike Eagler, Chief of Outside Infrastructure, was going to update the board on the board's hydrant program. This is timely in as much as one of the resolutions on the agenda for tonight is to purchase additional fire hydrants.
Mike?
Good evening, board members. I apologize. We were going to put together a PowerPoint and make it really detailed, but with the main breaks that we've had lately, just haven't been able to get to that point of it. We've had like quite a few, 23 main breaks in the past 14 days. So I do have some information about our hydrant program. Back in 2018, when my predecessor retired, moved into the position, we had 239 hydrants out of service. By 2020, March 3rd of 2020, we had them all back in service and there were no known hydrants out of service. We've also developed a program. It's our hydrant dashboard. On this, you could go onto our GIS system. It's not up there, but what you could do is you can individually pick out our 2,250 hydrants that we have and know when it was last tested and if whatever color code they are, blue, red, green, or orange. We also put back in operations after 7 years of not having it is a hydrant crew. This crew goes out 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and they maintain all hydrants. We flush them if they become frozen because they are still not been replaced yet. He thaws them and get them operational. The fire department and ourselves have worked closely together to develop a tablet, and Adam Jansen was big on, helped us out with this a lot. We have a tablet now, whereas the fire department is going up to a fire, they could pull up our dashboard and know exactly what hydrant to hit, the higher volume as opposed. So if they drive up and we're color coded according to the AWWA standards, blue being our best hydrant, as they roll up in their tablet, they already know about the hydrant and they can visually see it also. So those are just some of the little things. I hope you give me the opportunity again and present you a PowerPoint a little more detailed. Well, I accept my apologies for the way it's been going on the outside lately.
Are there any questions to Mike Eagler? Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead, Matt.
I've seen the not the dashboard, sorry, what'd you call it again?
The dashboard, the hydrant
Screen.
dashboard. Yep.
Yeah, the dashboard. It's impressive. No, I'm still coming up to speed, even though Sean's been real helpful and your staff's all been real helpful in helping you. But that's a lot of main breaks. I'm not saying that to blame him, saying that's a lot to have to deal with.
We don't want to.
Right. This is going to sound a little bit like a novice question. I guess that
Sure.
makes me a novice, but isn't that significantly more than would be normal?
It is significant this year as opposed to other years. Last year wasn't so bad, but other municipalities in the area that I've spoken to are facing the same thing.
Okay.
So it's either the deep freeze. To me, we've had colder winters without this many breaks. What's happening is they're consistent now. Like we're getting 2, 3 a day. But what we pride ourselves in is, I think the longest somebody's been without water was 3 hours. So all the hydrants that break, I'm sorry, all the main breaks that have gone on to 23 have been repaired same day.
Yeah, it sounded like when you and Sean and your team talked, that I got the impression that you guys were really on top of it. I mean, this is kind of general, but what do you need from us to, I'm hesitant to say to have less main breaks, because they're already there. You can only do something, dig them up. I mean, there's only so much you can do to control the breaks, but is there anything you guys need from us to be able to do that job better? Because it's a hell of a job, especially in the freezing cold in the middle of the night, a lot of times.
I don't know if we could do the job better. I do
I'm not
know.
saying you're not doing it.
Yeah,
good.
I get it.
Go ahead. Is there anything you need from us?
No, as we progress through our capital projects and replace the mains as necessary, we have a capital project run by Doug, overseen by Sean. I think that we need to pay as much attention to the infrastructure as we do the two buildings. Without the infrastructure, neither one of these buildings can function. So I know we've replaced mains lately. I would encourage the board to, as they come up and review that, let's not push them aside. I mean, really, we have one that's coming up that's very important, and it's the Lachlan Whitcop Circle. And that's the one we've had 7 breaks on in 4 days. This is the one that I would plead to have this put to the top of the list and fixed.
That project will go up this spring and hopefully start find out done. Okay.
And where's that at?
We call it the Lachlan Circle. It's where Lachlan, Whitcop, and 85th all come
Oh,
together.
near the plaza.
No, it's more off of Bollier, you know, where,
Boiler Avenue?
yeah, you go down
Yeah.
85th and then it splits in two.
Oh.
And because it's a 10-inch main, it causes a lot of damage when it goes. So the support that we've getting, we just need to keep getting it. And as far as the equipment goes, Sean's been very supportive. We get what we need, and we're doing okay. We're doing okay.
I think about the job.
It's been tough, but all the other municipalities in the area are going through the same thing that we are.
That was something I wasn't, just as a resident in the past, wasn't fully aware of. You know, living here, I hear about breaks like everybody else does. And I've always wondered that, you know, it makes it sound like we're out of control, but
Mhm.
when you guys explained it to me more, it's the fact that we are, it sounds like we're actually addressing them faster than a lot of municipalities do from the information I have.
As far as main break repairs?
Yeah, again, right, exactly, main break repairs.
We're a typical Northeast municipality.
Yeah.
Old infrastructure, tired, we're no different, and we just got to keep moving forward.
Thanks. Any thoughts or questions I have? At some point, I do want to come out, because I told you in person, and watch how you guys do one, so I have a
Sure.
better understanding of it, but I won't take up everybody's time on it. But obviously, it's a topic that I did want to ask a couple questions about, Chairman, because it's so important to residents, obviously.
What's hurting
Something
us,
they see affects your life.
excuse me, I apologize.
No, go ahead.
What's hurting us right now is obviously the weather. And right now we have one of our excavators at an Oxy parking lot on Buffalo Avenue because the brake lines froze up coming back. So we're facing a lot of pumps freezing, brake lines freezing, water getting to the catch basins because they're frozen over. So it puddles the street. We do whatever we can, but that's a lot. The cold is really affecting how we attack things.
It's good to know. Thanks.
H, do you have anything?
Yeah, just a question on the, you know, the water main break, the water main replacement that you're talking about.
Sure.
Do you know where that sits in the capital improvement plan or the investment plan? And I mean, where the priority is on that? Is that,
It's the first water main project that we will have to go out this year. The planning specs are in draft at this point. They may now meet with Lavella Associates to review those and finalize them.
but as far as the CIP goes, we're in line with the schedule for that coming up, or there's anything else that's more of a priority?
There is not, to my knowledge, in terms of
Right, that's our number one priority project right now, both water needs. we're sort of on the design, but then like ISD and DOH, reviewed it, I think they had about a pound, I think basically.
We also need to move on that one because we have grant funding. And I have a certain amount of time to utilize it.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Jeremy, just, I'm
Yeah, go ahead,
taking up a
Matt.
lot of time in this.
No,
I may not have another chance to ask, or I might forget. You said that particular area is, or Maine's at 7 breaks in a short period of time?
After I did the count, it's either 6 or 7 breaks.
What, is there something about the design of it or the depth or like what, that seems really unusual. What's going on there?
We've had a problem. I've been with the water board 15 years and we've had a problem with that main for as long as I can remember. And the problem with that is when you get down to the main, it's cast, but it just feels different than other casts, if that makes sense to you. And when it breaks, you get a lot of water that you got to fight to get that off the street, and it runs down people's front yards, so it causes a lot of damage when it goes. It's just, we were talking about it today, it's just not very scientific, but it's a weird main. Whenever it goes, it really goes. And then because they all tie together, the Whitcop circle, can I approach it? You mind if I approach it?
Please.
So. You need to get my bearings here. Right here. So this 84 comes up here and through this circle, numbers in the white, we all tie together.
Hmm.
And with this area, we have Matthew hydrants. That's another thing that we're trying to get rid of. Matthew hydrants kind of just slam when you close, causing an air. So what's going on here, with the main being so brittle, we're doing repair 1, 2, 3 here, and then this one goes.
Hmm.
So then we did this one and then this one. So it's basically in a big circle that we're blowing. And with the Matthew, you have to be really careful shutting them down. And even in that case, they call it air hammers, they call it down the
Obviously air down the line and popping them in a different place. It's very stressful when we know we have a main break in that area because we know more than likely there's gonna be another one. So we've tried different things to get through the winter. We're slow running hydrants directly into a catch basin through a fire hose thinking we could take the pressure off of that. That had not worked, caused another, the main break broke that same night when we tried that. We're tweaking the valves to try and keep the pressure down in that area. Started that today. We'll see how that works out. But at some point, we're gonna gradually, as the weather changes, we're gonna gradually get back to everything running, all the valves open up and stuff like that. The problem with all these main breaks come summertime, and this is a good thing I would like the board to know. We don't concrete in the winter. So when you drive by our sites, you're gonna see stone. And you're gonna wonder why we haven't concrete and turn it over city for blacktop. We discovered when we blacktop in the winter and the ground thaws, the concrete sinks, and then we wasted all that money in the winter. So come springtime, right now, we're roughly about 29. So all those are gonna have to all be dug out, saw cut, dug out and concreted. So that's gonna have an effect on our day also. So when you look at the O&M report, you might see only 5 hydrants, but then you'll look at the concrete and you'll see we did 20 cuts. So that's why we don't concrete in the winter.
First do replace stone. If they learn that the stone that they placed in the excavation has diminished, they'll replace the stone in order to keep it safe.
And the last thing I want to inform, I know we talked about Military Road when you were here. Well, we didn't have the ability to concrete Military Road today. We had one of our operators take off and we had 2 main breaks. We do plan on doing Military Road tomorrow. Okay?
Michael, thank you. I went by there the other day and you had a lot of cones and the lights out. When you start working there, because we run into a problem in other municipalities, people drive crazy.
Absolutely.
They don't care about those cones or those men working. You put big trucks on each end with lights just running while they're working inside there.
It depends on what we're doing. Like usually we use the VACCON, combination vehicle, which has an aero board on the back. But in the cold weather, we can't bring it out there because if the pump freezes, we're talking expensive. So our pickup trucks are well lit, have a lot of lights on them. We have an aero board, a light tower. We do everything we possibly can to, on Military Road, we did ask the police department to drive by every periodically to keep an eye on us. But Military Road, believe it or not, was actually not too bad.
Good.
It's like 22nd and Niagara Avenue is more likely we're gonna get hit, but it's going good right now. We check on the cones every day. We've kept the city advised of what our plans are. We advised them today as to why we couldn't do it. And at this point, they're very understanding.
Colleen or Renee, any questions?
I'm good. Thank you, Mike. Good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any public comments?
None, Mr. Chairman.
No one signed up? Okay. Any letters and communications, Sean?
Nothing for this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Prior meeting minutes.
Make a motion to adopt minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll s-
Matt?
I'll second them.
Okay, open for discussion. Any discussion on them?
Yes.
Yes,
Mr. Costello, Friday I asked to have some of my comments, particularly with regard to Resolution 1, added to the meeting. You told me that even though it was still in draft form, I needed to have them amended through the board tonight. You weren't going to add them, so I'd like to have my comments regarding Resolution 1 as to why I voted no added to these minutes. I don't think it's appropriate to put one board member's comments on there that were different than for somebody who didn't vote affirmatively, and to leave off somebody else's and just call it debate. So I like my comments about this resolution being used, having the potential to be used subjectively and selectively added to the minutes.
you know what she's talking about, Sean?
I hope I can get the substance there by adding that, order from the larger town, it be subjectively, it's like.
Would you like me to read it to you, Sean?
No, well, you think you could do it, Sean?
Yeah, no, I think I understand where the request is coming.
I think he understands it. He'll get it done.
And as I explained in my email to Board Member Larkin, actually, these minutes were drafted very quickly, based just on my notes and how to review the meeting. So I did not have a lot of comments and sentiments before. By the time I was drafting them, it was 9 o'clock at night on the night the packet needed to get them forward.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Sean, I misunderstood. I thought that when you were asking for us to comment and provide you with anything else, that we were going to take care of it prior to the meeting. Thank you for clarifying.
okay, thank you. Executive Director, General Counsel, Sean Costello?
We never voted on the,
We got to vote.
Oh, wait, oh, yes, okay. Roll call.
I believe it's on the minutes, with the amendment requested by Board Member Larkin.
Yes,
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
yes to the amended minutes.
Chairman Sirian.
yes.
I want to question the fact that, Board Member Cole is voting on the minutes because he wasn't there, so therefore he should be abstaining on everything because he's not aware of what we did. So, I would suggest that you change your vote to abstain because that's how new board members deal with the first day that that they come on the board.
Yeah, regarding the minutes, I have no issue with that. I can change it to abstain, Sean,
So no,
for that reason. Yep. Fair.
Thank you, Board Member Cole.
Sure. Smith.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing specific to report, that the map that was shown on screen does not actually show the water main breaks, January 2025.
Okay,
There's 18 on there. Adam Jansen prepared that today at my request, and I don't think that all the records to breaks have made it to him as of the time that he started working. So the outside crews have been working under extraordinarily challenging circumstances and doing an excellent job. And I cannot thank them enough for their hard work. I stopped out at a couple of the main breaks and, they've been courteous to the public, alert, and I can't offer enough praise and appreciation.
I thank you, and Mike, will you let your men know that it is the feeling of the whole board?
The meter shop guys, not so much though. That's a joke. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I went down with you and it looked like they were exhausted, so thank you, Mike.
Mr. Chairman, I've also moved for the purpose of this agenda, the personnel items under my place on the agenda, and there is just one item on the personnel action sheet.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the personnel action sheet.
is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion on the personnel action sheet? Roll call.
Board Member Cole?
Sorry, what am I voting on?
So the personnel action sheet, there's one
On the
item,
screen?
the authorization to hire Caleb Coleman as Director of Administrative Services.
There was a circumstance when I watched the previous meetings. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. That my predecessor abstained when he wasn't around for the interviews. And I think it's only right that I wish him the best, but I have to do the same thing. I just wasn't around for any of the interviews. And while I wish him the best, I have to abstain from it to be fair to everybody. So I abstain.
Board Member Dean?
Yes,
Board Member Kimball?
No,
Board Member Larkin?
No,
Before, I'm gonna vote yes. Well, with a 2-2 tie, what happens?
it fails.
Okay, let me just say a couple words. Renee and Colleen,
I think if you want to talk about the individual or about this position, that we go in executive session. It's not fair.
I
no,
concur.
I'm not gonna talk about the individual. I'm gonna talk about the actual vote. This is not confidential stuff, what I'm gonna say. I want to open it up for discussion. Okay? I thought we all agreed that unlike the old board, this board does not run this facility. We don't know 90% of what goes on at this facility. We hire a director to do that. Sean was hired by used to, and I thought it's a great hire, and the other board to do his job. He's got to be working with someone, not us. He does. You know, we say we're going to do things. We're going to say we're going to allow him to manage. And yet now you don't want to agree to what he wants to manage. I don't understand it. Are we going to start acting like a board should? Just like most school boards, they hire a superintendent and they let the superintendent run the district. We hire Sean. He's supposed to have a lot of latitude in running these facilities. Why? One, he's most qualified. Two, again, we don't know anything that goes on in here relative to what he does. So he's making a recommendation, and you guys want to kill his recommendation? I understand Colleen. She votes no on anything I say. So that don't bother me. But Renee, you're disappointing. I'm going to tell you that. And I've always supported you.
Listen, I like to discuss this in executive session because I want to talk, my rationale has to do with the candidates.
Okay, then could we move into executive session? Because I want to get this thing handled today. Because there's other people whose jobs aren't aligned that we need to give people directive what's going on here.
I'd like to make a comment as well. I don't appreciate the personal attacks against Renee and I because we didn't agree with your decision.
No, it's not my decision. It's about what a board is supposed to do. Okay, and I don't particularly care what you like or dislike about what I say, Colleen, because you don't like anything I say. So I don't even try to get you to like
You are
me.
extremely unprofessional.
That's fine. That's me. You get me how I am. Okay? I'm not going to allow you to continue to disrupt this board, because that's all you do. Ever since your friends left, all you want to do is disrupt. Okay? This board will work together with or without you. This board is going to follow what the advice of the director wants us to follow. Okay? And quite honestly, Matt, I don't see why you can't vote on it. It's on the agenda. You
Matt
can
had
go,
nothing- No, he cannot. Matt had nothing to do with the.
why?
individual
This is
because
an agenda item on today's board.
It
If people-
doesn't matter. Matt has
he's-
to know what was this about. Like I said, can we go into executive session?
He's
Mr.
got a
Mayor.
right to follow the recommendation of Sean, the director. He's got a right to follow his lead just because he didn't do the interviews. I don't see why we can't have him, but you just want to go in executive session? Let's
Yeah.
do it.
There needs to be a motion for the purpose of entering into executive session to discuss matters related to the hiring of a particular individual.
Move it.
Second.
Roll call?
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Chairman Sirianni.
Yes.
Vote to that.
Sean, you will call Colleen and me?
Yes.
All right.
To the public who's listening on the Zoom or present here, while the board is in executive session, I'm going to mute the conferencing microphones. Please know that doesn't necessarily mean that comments will not be picked up and preserved in recording. Yes.
Yes.
Board Member Kimball, you're back.
Yes, I am.
All right. Board Member Larkin, are you back?
I am. Let me just put my camera on. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, I'd like to get a motion to come out of executive session.
Motion.
Second.
Move
Any
it.
roll call?
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes, to come out executive session.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes, to come out of executive session.
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion
Mo-
passes.
Motion to enter back into open session.
Motion.
Jim, is there a second?
Move it.
Yes. Yes.
I think that was Colleen. Roll call?
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, should I just make the motion out to have a special meeting? Okay, I'd like to get a motion to have a special meeting on February 17th. It's a Monday. I believe we're going to shoot for 5 o'clock, try to keep it as consistent. The meeting itself is open to the public, but there won't be nothing discussed in the public. We're going to have to go back in executive session.
Move it. Motion.
Is there a second?
Sure.
Matt,
Yes.
any discussion on it? Roll call.
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay.
I'm just going to make sure all the microphones are.
Okay. Okay. Doug Williamson, engineering. Sorry for the delay.
Good evening. A 5-year capital improvement plan summary of ongoing projects has been provided in my monthly O&M report recently. I'm not sure if you took note of that, but basically it provides a brief project status update, estimated costs, the grants available, and responsibilities of parties. So basically I've been keeping that up to date in my O&M each month now. Basically completed projects in 2024 include water treatment plant chlorine system upgrades and scrubber replacement and the 77th Street water main project. Current active projects include completing walkways at said basin number 1 under wastewater treatment plant project number 1. We're continuing work on belt filter press improvements under project number 3. We're replacing 2 transformers at power center number 5 under project number 5. And we're continuing repairs of intermediate pumps that have been ongoing. Also, too, we have the LaSalle phase 2 and 3 SSCS work that will be starting up again in the spring, and the lead service lateral inventory work that will be ongoing for a while. A few new projects in 2025 include SCADA improvements at the water and wastewater plant, replacement of wastewater treatment plant sodium hypochlorite tank 216 and pumps. We haven't started design yet, but the Calumet Avenue sewer main repairs and the project Mike was talking about, the Laughlin Drive, Woodcop Avenue and 85th Street water main replacement project. And we also have several other projects under Labella under design. So just wanted you to be aware that I update that monthly now and it's in my O&M.
Okay.
That's all I got.
And so the O&M report is usually sent out with this agenda?
Yeah, no, it's in the packet,
Okay.
but I'm not sure if anybody takes note of that, but
Well, I looked,
yeah,
I looked through it, but usually what I'm trying to figure out is, you know, where do we stand on the overall CIP? You know, are we, it's a plan from 22 to 26.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Well, right, right.
And it was what, over 244 million, you know, estimated at that time. Where do we stand on how much we've spent so far? Or, you know, just that big,
Right,
that
right.
big metric that says.
Right. No, I got
We're
you.
2 years in, or two, you know, how many months in and how much have we spent out of that estimated 244? And, you know, are we over budget? Are we under budget? You know, based on what they estimated in 2022.
Right, right. I believe and Brian used to, and I'm sure Mike does now, but we tracked it separately in spreadsheets and that, but no, everything's on budget. We're not going over budget.
Well, is there some way to get a report on that as
To
well?
get that,
It's more of an overall status of where we stand on that overall plan. Because you had estimated amounts in
Right.
22, 23, 24.
yeah,
So I'm, you know, wondering, did we hit the target on that or on each year? And, you know, are we gonna, you know, what's expected on the expenditures for, you know, the next coming years?
right, right. Well, like I said, I mean, I can give you an overall,
Okay,
you know, and then we should probably approve a new CIP. But as far as like tracking payments and all that, I know Mike likely tracks a lot of that, but most of the things are, you know, yeah, they're on budget.
okay, so if it says we spent 200 million in 2022, that's all we spent was 200 million?
I'm not exactly sure the exact numbers, like I said, I
That's what I'm looking for, is
could get
more
you
about,
something more detail.
I'm wondering how accurate that original estimate was by year.
No, everything's an estimate until a project's bid, then it's a real cost,
Yeah, and that's why I'm just wondering where we are as far as,
like
you
the
know, if we
overall.
were supposed to spend, you know, 100 million by this month, you know, have we, or are we under, or are we over?
Right. Yeah, I can probably fine tune it and get you something.
All right. Yeah, just to the very top level. I'm not looking at the detail. I'm just wondering how much we spent every single year, and so
Right.
that we can compare that to what the original estimate was
Mhm.
when the plan was approved.
Right. Yeah, I can
Okay.
by next meeting or.
Yeah, you can
Actual,
pass it to Sean and then he'll email the whole board.
Yeah.
Might be the best way to do it.
I would like to spend, it's going to be a significant effort, but I would really like to rework the capital plan in the coming months. It's not something that I'm likely to have enough time to turn around by the next meeting.
Oh,
because it's a
yeah.
Substantial endeavor, but that would include
well, as
you know,
far
an
as we,
update on where projects are thus far.
but I mean, as far as reworking it, yes, but we know how much we've spent year after year, right?
Yes, we do. We have a report on capital payments.
Okay.
Okay, any more questions for Doug? Thank you, Doug.
Thanks.
Mr. Joyce, Technology.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm happy to report that Darktrace and CISA scans found no high levels of vulnerability in our network. We have a couple of projects going on. One of the main projects that we're doing is I was looking for costs to save money for our virtual environment. We're currently on VMware, and with the licensing change and our hardware aging, I found another solution, which is Scale Computing. I really like Scale. It's going to bring the price down for our virtual environment, and they also work with OT, SCADA side, so IT and OT. So when we're doing a cost to get the SCADA side upgrade, we could use Scale Computing to help lower some of those costs. With that, some good news. I did roll out some new equipment to the outside guys. They've been using just in time for the water main breaks. And we are going, and we got the new copiers deployed successfully after a little bit of hiccups with printing. They're running successfully. And the last thing that we're just kind of doing is rolling out this MDM software with these new tablets for our new meter shop read. And we're ready to go live with that on the February 3rd. next month. Those are all the highlights, and we're continue to upgrade hardware and software. And that's it.
Is there any questions for Mr. Joyce?
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Finance, Michael Smith.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mike.
Yeah, just following up with what Mr. Joyce had mentioned, we do have some training sessions for this Neptune 360 system that he mentioned. We'll be going live with that next week, actually. We do have a training session for that coming up, and from what I understand, everything is moving along. I've been working on getting ready for the audit, which is coming up in about 3 weeks. Lots of analysis work to do, and when I do finish all the analysis work, I'll be sending that to the auditors prior to them coming here so that they can get the ball rolling on all their field work. Other than that, all the year-end work with regard to payroll, I believe all the employees should have received their W-2s. We did have an issue with paychecks, which I just found out this morning. I guess there were 2 sets of W-2s that were issued. We were actually not in compliance with one of the reporting requirements with regard to the HSA program. It's really not going to affect anybody's tax returns. It's just a compliance matter. It might affect some people's tax returns if they had left our organization and gone on, or left our organization or came to our organization where they had a previous FSA plan or HSA plan. But all the disbursements that we made during the course of the year for our HSA plan, they've been under the IRS threshold, so there's nothing to worry about there. But like I said, in the past, we were not complying with the IRS requirement to report those HSA, payments. This year, we did comply with it. We were kind of late in the game and telling paychecks about those numbers, but they informed us that they could still report those numbers. But for some reason, the paychecks reported the HSA numbers, or paychecks sent out the W-2s without the HSA numbers. So I guess we're working to try and get that resolved. And as far as the HSA plan for the current year, 2025, those payments have all been made. So we're all done there. I'm wrapping up the SIU billing and also getting ready for the audit. That's really all I have to report.
Is there any questions for Mike Smith?
Tell me, is Brian still assisting you?
He is. It's kind of difficult for him, there's certain things he can do and certain things that I don't really think he could do efficiently, with, not coming in to be here to do it. He would have to actually work on, I think there's probably some audit analysis work that he could do, maybe some bank reconciliation work that he could look into that he could do from home on his personal computer. But other things, like the day-to-day activities that come up, throughout the course of a day, that really wouldn't be something that I think that he could work on efficiently.
Okay, and you're sure that you're going to have everything up to speed for the audit in 3 weeks?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem.
And tell me, how much longer do you think you're going to need Brian's assistance?
After the audit is completed, I really, I don't really think I'll need much more of his assistance. I've already kind of been through all the big projects, the SIU billing. I think I have a good understanding of that now. The tax, the situation where we send all the, delinquent accounts to the tax roll. I've been through that. And, now that I have all those, activities under my belt, I have a much better understanding of it. I really don't think there's any more, activities, that I would need Brian's help for. I guess one activity coming up that, my staff has kind of told me that is pretty in-depth is, the shut-off program. So, but, Brian has been very cooperative. If there's, anything that, he's always told me if there's anything that I need help with, he's always willing to help out.
And what preparation have you made for the upcoming budget?
For 2025?
Yes.
Okay, well, Sean pretty much handled most of the legwork on that. So the budget has been finalized and it's available.
I'm saying for the next one. We know that we'll finish with that, but now we got to get the process together to deal with 2026. And I know that I talked about the fact that we're going to have to really monitor things because we might have to have a tax increase or rate increase, I should say. So, in terms of preparing for the 2026 budget, where are we?
Well, as we finish each month, we'll have a budget actual comparison financial statements, and we're just going to go from there. So we'll have the budget actual numbers, plus we're going to have any kind of upcoming events, projects that are upcoming. Those will all be considered with in relation to where we stand on a budget to actual comparison.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If there's no more questions, thank you, Michael.
Welcome.
Sean, questions regarding December 2025 operations and maintenance report? Is there any questions? No. Okay, resolutions.
The first resolution is found in the packet beginning at page 43. It is 2025-01-001, change order 1 for 12-inch combined sewer main repair, 2200 block Pierce Avenue.
Move it.
A second.
Roll call or any more any discussion on it?
Just a question on it. This is actually a change order to lessen the overall contract.
It does increase the total amount from the base bid of 23,500.
Is it the second?
Oh, I'm sorry,
It says 1675.
You're absolutely correct. I prepared this on December 16th, I think, when I got the change order request. Yes, the total cost was less, and that was because of the great work by the outside maintenance crew. They actually did a lot of the pavement restoration work that we otherwise would have been paying this contractor for. So that's how it not only came under budget, we were also able to get that lead service line replaced in connection with the job. So for that work, I must thank Mr. Eagler and his crews as well.
So the change order is just necessary to zero out the contract.
Correct.
Okay.
City engineering is this was one where city engineering acted as our engineers for the project, and they are very good about closing out the project and making sure it's all zeroed out at the end. So.
Thank you.
No more discussion on it? Roll call, Sean?
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is found beginning at page 45 of the agenda packet. Resolution number 2025-01002, settle Jastrzemski property damage claim.
Is there
Move
a
it.
motion?
Move it.
I will
Renee, is there a
second
sec? Colleen, second it? Any discussion on? it? Roll call, please.
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is found beginning at page 46 of the agenda packet. Resolution number 2025-01003, settle Lysiak property damage claim.
Is there a motion?
Move
Move
it.
it.
Colleen, and it looked like Renee seconded it. Any discussion on it? Roll call, please, Sean.
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is found beginning at page 47 of the agenda packet. Resolution number 2025-01004, authorizing Shimadzu service agreement.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Jim? Is there a second?
I'm not clear what it is.
I'll second it. Then we can open up for discussion. Is there a discussion on it?
I would appreciate an explanation, if you would, just because it's a larger dollar amount. It's new to me.
Sure. So this is for maintenance and calibration of some of our sophisticated sampling and analysis equipment in the lab. We enter into a 3-year agreement. It's a lot less costly than doing it on a yearly basis. The Shimadzu factory representative comes in and does the preventative maintenance necessary. These pieces of equipment are 6-figure pieces of equipment. The list is here. It doesn't tell you a lot to know that it's a mass spectrometer and an auto sampler, but those are the principal pieces of equipment.
You good, Matt?
I think I am, Chairman, just a couple of real brief questions, just to make sure I understood. So it's a 20% discount if we lock it in for 3 years, right?
Yes,
As per your description here. And it's the manufacturer providing the service itself.
yes, their trained representative. It's through Shimadzu.
I'm comfortable.
Okay. Any more questions? Roll call, Sean.
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes.
Board Member Kimball,
Yes.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes.
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is found beginning at page 50 of the agenda packet. Resolution number 2025-01005, award bid for in-plant mechanical maintenance.
Is there a
Move-
motion?
Move it.
Renee, is there a second?
I'll second.
Colleen, any discussion on it? Roll call, Sean.
Board Member Cole,
I'm sorry, is it possible to back up?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, no
Same
problem.
thing. This is new to me and this is, 300 grand, you or thereabouts. Would you mind?
sure. So
breaking it down for me?
the 300 grand, these are indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contracts. So essentially the board puts out a contract for certain services, HVAC, in-plant mechanical, high voltage electrical is another one. I don't think that one's up yet. It will be soon, where the prospective bidders give us an hourly rate for their journeyman, for their apprentice, for the different classifications. The bid includes a sort of a hypothetical scope of work, a number of hours for journeyman, a number of hours for the apprentice, and a fixed dollar amount for materials. And that's what the comparison is. The actual cost ultimately under the contract could be $0 if we didn't use the services, or it could be, far in excess of that. But this way we have pre-bid labor rates for these sort of miscellaneous projects throughout the plants that, we find need to be done. And the board can move
They
forward
can't
with them.
charge us more than the rate they agreed to if we were not under contract, right?
Correct.
Dealt that in a different environment. We got clobbered. For not being under contract. Okay, I'm good. Thank you, sir.
Page 54 has the rates,
Okay.
has the supporting documentation. So
Gotcha.
you put the scope of work together for this. Okay, one point.
Roll call, Sean.
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes,
Board Member Kimball,
Yes,
Board Member Larkin,
Yes,
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is found beginning at page 55 of the agenda packet. Resolution number 2025-01006, award bid for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning service work.
Is there a motion?
motion,
James, is there a second?
I'll move it.
second,
Renee, any discussion on it? Roll call, Sean.
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
yes,
Board Member Kimball,
yes,
Board Member Larkin,
Yes,
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is found beginning at page 60 of the agenda packet. Resolution number 2025-01007, procurement of scale computing hardware and services.
Is there a
Move.
motion?
move it,
Renee, is there a second?
second,
Jim, any discussion on it?
actually, I just would like to give some kudos to John Joyce here, because Broadcom bought out VMware and they raised the prices considerably. So I just want to give you a lot of kudos for this and good job.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Roll call, Sean.
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
yes,
Board Member Kimball,
yes,
Board Member Larkin,
Yes,
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is found beginning at page 65 of the agenda packet. Resolution number 2025-01008, procurement of fire hydrants and Hymax couplings.
Is there a
motion,
motion? James? James Dean, is there a second?
I'll move it.
Colleen, any discussion on it?
is this, yeah, just one quick, this is about, just increasing our inventory, is that right?
Yes, we're almost out of the stock of hydrants to continue the hydrant replacement program,
Okay,
where we're seeking out the older types of hydrants that are problematic for the system with the water hammer, but also to replace hydrants as they're hit by cars and, you know, the other incidents that occur that damage them.
Okay. And this is to buy 2,226 new hydrants?
No, that's the total number of hydrants in the system.
Oh, I'm
This
sorry.
is
It says that.
75 new hydrants.
75 new. Gotcha. I'm sorry. That's, I'm on the wrong page. Jesus. Gotcha. Thank you. I see.
It's confusing a little, man.
I'm,
You'll get used to it.
well, you know, it's like drinking through a fire hydrant, isn't it? Sean, I trust you on this one, but if you wouldn't mind, Mike, are you okay with what you're getting here? Because ultimately you guys are doing this work, right? If you don't mind, Sean, I'm sorry.
Yes, I'll represent that. I certainly did not choose what hydrants we're going to be
Yeah, well,
purchasing. This is Mike's
I believe you, but-
recommendation here.
Because it's such a high profile thing for residents and important, and you guys have come such a long way on this, I'd love to get Mike's take on it, if you don't mind.
So there's a bid process every year that's put on through the city. And the company that won the bid this year is EJP. And what we want to do is get last year's prices before we know that the bid's going to go up again this year. So we want to get last year's prices before they go up. And in order to keep our 100 hydrants, right now we're averaging, over the last 5 years, we're averaging 96.8 hydrants a year. Right now, we have 20 left in stock. The 75, we have 35 left in stock. The extra ones would be for hit hydrants or anything like that. We're trying to get 100 every year. In order to get that, we would need these hydrants to do so. And these hydrants either have to be Mueller or Kennedy's, and that's what we buy, and to get rid of the Matthews and everything else. So actually, it's a little bit less this year than it was last year. We're getting less high maxes than that, and the high maxes is what we connect the barrel to the main. That's what the high max part of this bid is.
Okay, are you good with all this? You happy with it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming you are, but you know, you guys do. the
Well, we
rest of
need
the
it.
work and- But yeah, yeah. All right. Good one.
Where do you
Thank you.
store 100 of them?
Right at the yard.
Right in the yard?
Yeah, if you ever go to the outside maintenance area, you pull in, you'll see, right now, there's only 35 left there, but usually come springtime, there's 100 and some odd hydrants there sitting on display.
Any more questions?
No, I'm good.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Sean, I hope you don't mind. Appreciate it, Bill.
Oh, not at all.
Check with him.
Roll call, Sean?
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes,
Board Member Kimball,
Yes,
Board Member Larkin,
Yes,
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
Motion passes. The next resolution is found at page 69 of the agenda packet. Resolution number 2025-01009, wastewater treatment plant upgrade, WWTP up committee.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, may I just note for the board that this resolution does have a blank for the committee chairperson. So the board would have to select an individual to be the
Yeah.
chairperson, which could be done in connection with a motion to approve the committee with the individual as the chair.
Okay. Well, let's get a motion to start.
I
Well,
make
I
a,
was gonna, what?
I make a motion.
Renee, is there a second?
I'll move it for the question.
Go ahead. Do you have a question?
Yes, I do. I'd like to
Oh,
just,
okay.
I'd like to understand what this committee is about a little bit. This is kind of, I think we had lobbyists that were doing our bidding for our, because we do have, and I think Sean can back me up on this, we do have a lot of plans in place regarding putting forth a new plant. We've been working on that for over 7 years. I'm not saying I don't support the committee. I'm just trying to understand what the purpose is here.
Well, first of all, it's not to change anything that what's been going on will continue to go on. And this is just going to be, they're not going to be making any decisions. And talking to a board member, you know, we have people on the finance committee, the hiring committee, and a board member wanted to get involved in the wastewater, just not to hurt anything that's going on, just so he can get more educated. And so I brought it to Sean to see if it was legal to put it on. And he said yes. So that's what we're discussing it.
Okay, that's all I wanted to understand.
Yeah, this one, and I know Mr. Dean had some questions, and
I just
So
didn't hear,
now's the
I
time.
just didn't hear a second yet, but I guess we did have a second.
no, we didn't have a second.
Okay.
Yes, I
Member-
did. Yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
I did
Okay.
a second.
The second,
for the
yeah,
question.
Colleen made the second to ask the question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
Mhm.
I guess my question goes towards, it looks like the committee will be evaluating strategies, or it's an assessment of strategies for improvement, funding, financial planning. Isn't this already done in the CIP? Did we already have engineering studies and planning studies that went into developing the CIP that includes, operation projects for the wastewater side?
The CIP reflects the estimated cost of conversion of the wastewater treatment plant to a membrane biological system. The order on consent that we negotiated with DEC opens the door to explore other treatment alternatives, hopefully less costly ones in terms of the overall capital expense. So that's the sort of evaluations that would need to be done.
So are we anticipating hiring engineers
Yes.
to support the committee?
Well, the committee presumably will review the work that is done by the engineer that's selected for the preliminary engineering report that's required under the order on consent. And we need to solicit proposals from engineering firms for.
And so that's all planned for in this year's budget, the engineers work?
It's going to be a capital expense. We will likely end up issuing debt. The board previously approved $20 million in financing associated with the wastewater treatment plant upgrade project. So we're probably going to have to close that financing and then we'll begin drawing on it to fund the engineering work.
Okay, so you're saying that this committee is an absolute must. It's not, I mean, are we just adding an extra layer onto what we're already doing? Because we already are, reviewing these things with the CIP plan and everything else that we're doing? I just want to know, is this redundant?
Well, it is redundant in a way, but I thought if someone wanted to volunteer their time and has an interest in it, that they can come to the board, the engineers can come. They can't make, as far as my understanding, no decision. Whatever they come with the engineers, they can, the board will have to make that decision. It was just to have another voice out there who might be touring the place, seeing things they can report back to the board, because we don't have engineers doing that as often, especially over there with what we want to go on. So actually, I thought it was a harmless thing and giving someone another opportunity to get involved. I
So-
didn't see no harm in it.
So this is a committee of the whole under our current bylaws?
No, this would be a committee and it says no more than one additional board member, because otherwise the committee's meetings would have to be subject to open meetings law, public, and, make it rather difficult to be involved in sort of, meetings with engineers or whatever might happen along the way. The way I had understood what Chairman Sirianni was asking me was to, create a committee where a board member would sort of become the board's subject matter expert in terms of the conversion, in terms of, being present for meetings, reviewing documents, and just having a bit more of a focus on the conversion project.
Yeah, and I didn't think that hurt anyone. It didn't eliminate no engineers, right? It's just another layer that doesn't cost us anything.
Well, and that's part of my concern. I just want to make sure this is not an additional cost on top of the operations that we're already doing, the planning, the engineering. That it's, we're already at a tight budget.
Oh, I
So I
don't,
just want to make sure that we're not incurring any additional costs, through
Well,
the
wouldn't
committee.
we incur cost if we're having them meet with the engineers for a special meeting? Wouldn't that, cost us?
well, yeah, that could be, but that wasn't the intent of this language. The intent of the intent of the language is to, if Matt wants to go through the main wastewater with Jim or whoever's going to be on this thing, they can go and get educated on what's going on. And if they want to come to the board, I don't know any reason why. They can meet with the engineers when the engineers meet, but I don't think they were going to be calling any meetings. That's going to be, the driving force is going to be the engineers or whoever's already in place. That's my opinion on this.
Matt, if I could chime in real quick, I agree. I think I agree with Jim and Renee that my intention behind suggesting it, if I may say that, Chairman,
Yeah.
was not to cause any redundancies and not to cause any, certainly not any extra expense. It was, as Chairman Sirianni put it, I agree. I thought it would just be smart because it's such an enormous project and going to be so important in future to just be the board's sort of, I don't want to say eyes and ears is a little too, but yeah, to just be a central conduit through which we provide information to the board and help out wherever we can. And if that's of interest to the board, I'd be happy to do that. But it was not to create any unnecessary layers, more so just a conduit to channel all the information through and help out with a super important project. And no, to Jim's very good point, it would not be cause any extra expense. At least that's my intention.
But the committee is not authorized for expenditures. It's still got to come before the full board.
Well, that was my intention and understanding. It was more so just to be a information conduit, if you will, and maybe make recommendations, but certainly not, authorize any expenses.
Okay.
Unless anybody felt differently. That was my intention on suggesting it.
Are there any more discussion on this? Hey, Sean, roll call.
I believe you need to name a person. before
Pardon?
You need to name a person.
Oh,
before-
okay. Well, because Matt approached me on it, I would what I suggested to Matt is he be the chairperson. And I'm thinking James Dean to with him if James wants to, only because of his background in engineering and costs and stuff like that. But if he don't,
I don't need to be on.
he don't want to be on it, so
I don't need to be. I just
are you
don't- I
turning
don't-
it down or you just don't need to be?
I just don't need to be. I'm fine with Matt just being.
Oh, Colleen, do any of you have any interest in, or Renee?
No, I don't have an interest. Thank you for asking, but no.
I'll pass.
I'm happy
Okay.
to provide any information to the committee and see if the project keeps moving forward. If anybody has any feedback or input, providing that it's approved.
Yeah.
If anybody has any feedback or input, questions, please feel free to use me as your.
Just let us know what's going on, and if something's going on, any board member that wants to attend with you, because there's only gonna be two, they can, if they have time.
Sure.
I
Oh, I
know
didn't
everyone's
think this-
got busy schedules.
If there's an opportunity, yeah. We'll figure it
Feel
out.
free
But
to
yeah,
do so if you'd like.
It's not
Okay.
important, it's not important right now.
No,
as far as this
no,
goes.
no.
Just name a chairperson and
then I make a motion that Matt Cole would chair it.
second.
Any more discussion? Roll call, Sean?
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes,
Board Member Kimball,
Yes,
Board Member Larkin,
Yes,
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
The motion to appoint Board Member Cole chairperson of the WWTP Upcommittee passes.
Thank you. Any unfinished or old business? Any new business and additional items for discussion?
I have one, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
It's a question for Sean. With regard to the PA sheet, I had planned to ask this earlier, but we ended up in executive session. I noticed, Sean, we had a couple promotions that should have been on the PA sheet recently. Is there a reason that they weren't?
Yeah, the PA sheet, I just have not had enough time to keep track of all the changes and the information that traditionally is reported there. I'm hoping that when we have a Director of Administrative Services, that individual will be able to get back to updating that information.
But don't we have, by contract, if I'm not mistaken, don't we have to have all this on the PA sheet and the board needs to vote on it in order to move forward with promoting people?
There were no promotions that weren't approved by the board. We made a couple of personnel changes constituting promotions pursuant to the board's approval of a memorandum of understanding with the union. That was
Okay.
already approved by the board.
But we still had to approve the salaries and any cost, correct?
The positions were approved. The salaries are all per our union contracts.
Okay.
Okay. Any more discussion on anything? Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
move
motion.
it.
I'll
Second.
Renee? Jim? Roll call?
Board Member Cole,
Yes.
Board Member Dean,
Yes,
Board Member Kimball,
Yes, to adjourn.
Board Member Larkin,
Yes, to adjourn.
Chairman Siriani.
Yes.
The time for the purpose of the recording is 7:16 PM.
Okay.